Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Excited to be here with you today. Let's talk about suffering and why we suffer and how do we end this needless suffering. There seems to be more suffering than ever before in the world today. And it is a common belief that we suffer because of circumstance. People believe that we suffer because of other people, or we suffer because of the experiences that we're living through right now, or even the experiences that we have experienced in the past. But the truth is that suffering is not caused by other people or by our circumstances. And I know that seems harsh to say, and you know me, I don't like to be harsh. I don't like to rock the boat, but this is one of those beliefs that I find so pervasive in our community, in the world today. And it is part of what's causing the suffering, is this belief that we are helpless and victim to our suffering because it comes from outside of us. And so I have good news for you today. This is something I'm going to shift your perspective on. This is going to be life-changing if you can kind of wrap your head around what I'm about to share, right? It makes sense that we would believe this. Everyone we've ever experienced or talked to, or the vast majority of the people that we have engaged with, also hold the belief that we suffer because of the external environment. And so it's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. And we all are doing the best that we could. We are all trying to entertain the things that we were told and trained when we were growing up. And so it would be unreasonable for you to expect yourself to have any different of a belief if you were not taught a different way. It does appear at the moment that we are at the mercy of the world around us, but it is not true. And I want you to know that we have many examples. If we look around us, we can see other people who have experienced very, very difficult lives. They have had plenty of reasons to suffer, plenty of persecution and trauma and life experience that would say you're justified. Yes, it is reasonable to expect that you would suffer for the rest of your life, but that is not true. We can even look at the example of Nelson Mandela. He was unjustly imprisoned for 27 years. And he has said, it has been said that he was able to stay in peace and maintain a general sense of happiness and well-being while in prison. And then after, he went on to become his nation's first president, first president of his nationality. I want to be very careful with the ethics here. I'm not trying to offend anyone. So look into it if you don't know the story, but he thrived after that time. And so what that tells us is not everyone who has experienced a difficult upbringing, a difficult childhood, trauma or traumatic events, toxic relationships, not everyone who has had a moment of suffering is destined to suffer forever. And this is the trick that the mind can play on us. It will tell us the story of life will always be difficult, or people can't be trusted, or the world is not safe. And therefore, I am out of control. I am a victim to the circumstances outside of me. That because I can't control these people or these circumstances, I will forever suffer. And this is a lie that the parts of our brain like to tell us. And I don't want to get too in the mud of the details of the neuroscience, but there are certain parts of our brain, like a subconscious brain, that has adopted conditioning and programming that says these beliefs are true, that cause our suffering, right? That part of our brain, I don't want to say you choose to be a victim, but that part of your brain believes that you are a victim. You are helpless to your life circumstances. You are powerless to change the situation. And then this, of course, will cause depression and anxiety because the different parts of you are at war. There's a part of you that says, yes, but I know there must be hope. And then the other part of you that says, no, you're at the mercy of this I don't want to get into the details of the world today. Whatever you believe is your persecutor right now, right? And that causes us to believe that we are at the mercy of every passing thought or every whim or experience that happens to come our way. And this is what causes our suffering. When we have these unhealed wounds, a hyperactive nervous system, consciousness, well, I guess you could say subconsciousness programs and conditioning, the subconscious beliefs that cause us to believe that these things are true, they tend to ramp up the internal dialogue, the rumination, the monkey mind. Have you ever noticed that hamster wheel of thought that just goes round and round and round, trying to solve the problem, but never actually doing anything but causing you to feel exhausted and frustrated and depressed and anxious? And hey, did you notice it also makes you suffer? This is the source of our suffering. It is the incessant chatter that is exhausting, when the true source of your suffering is the thoughts and the beliefs, not the actual circumstances, the thoughts and the beliefs and the perspectives about the people, about the circumstances, about our past. And hey, also, did you know the brain has a tendency to project onto the future the things that have happened in the past? The brain's job is to keep you safe. And so it's looking to the past to see how the future will go. And it's not always right. In fact, it's often wrong. In fact, often the brain is the last to know. So how do we make this stop? How do we say enough is enough? I am done with this life. I'm sick and tired of suffering. And this is a really critical place to come to. Know that you have to get to that place of, I'm fed up. I've had enough. I'm done. This is stopping now. I don't know how, but I'm done. There's zero room for any more of this suffering in my life. Then you can come to the place to say, I'm going to address the issue. Come hell or high water, no matter what it takes, I'm going to get at the root of this weed. And when you do that, that's when you impact or affect real change in your life. So the first step is recognizing it's the unhealed wounds that are causing this overactive nervous system and amplifying the internal chatter that causes these thoughts, incessant thought. I don't know about you, but I remember going to a therapist and saying, how do I get out of my head? I feel like I'm a prisoner in my own mind. I just feel miserable and I can't escape it. How do we get out of the monkey mind? How do we silence the inner chatter? How do we stop the rumination? How do we quiet the fears? It is addressed through the nervous system and the limbic system of the brain, which houses what they would call the subconscious, the overactive amygdala or emotional center that says everything is so much bigger of a problem than it really is. The fight or flight response that says, you better run, you better fight, you better freeze, you better fawn, you better stay tucked away, better people please and overgive and self-sacrifice. It's the one that shuts you down when you want to step into your purpose. It's the one that makes you feel overwhelmed because there's too much to do to start a business. It's the one who says, you can't do that. You don't have anything to offer. It's the one who says, yeah, but it's too difficult and you don't understand computers and systems and all the technical details. So you better just go take a nap or meditate or hope to manifest right? Manifest it into your life without action. That is the tricky brain that keeps you safe. That is the glass ceiling of the unhealed wounds and trauma that are overstimulating your body and your nervous system and your limbic brain, telling you you can't do this. The source of your suffering is the incessant chatter and the thought and the rumination that is telling you lies and keeping you stuck in isolation and hermit mode, or the perception of moving forward, even though it's really more so spinning your wheels and just feeling like you come back to ground zero. So what is the solution? What do we have to do? We have to work with the body. We use somatic healing therapies, something like trauma spotting. There's many others out there, but trauma spotting was the most profound experience in my life, and that's why I have to share it with you. We use this to desensitize the triggers, to calm the nervous system, to reprogram the subconscious brain, remove those programs and beliefs that you can't just fix through bootstrapping it. People will say, choose a new belief and you can solve all your problems, right? Even in manifestation, they say the law of assumption, the law of expectation. Well, guess what? It doesn't work if you have a subconscious program hiding out in your blind spot. That means below conscious awareness, which means The body is the key to resolving that issue, not the conscious mind. That's why you can feel like you have the battle of the brains. I want to do this thing. Oh, no, you don't. I want to build a business. Oh, it's not safe. I want to, right? The tug of war, the back and forth, the intelligent brain versus the subconscious brain. It is not something that you can consciously bootstrap and push your way through. And here's the really cool thing. In non-duality, they talk a lot about not identifying with thought, becoming the observer, detaching and pulling back. And yes, that is the solution, because suffering comes from the thoughts, which are driven by the perspectives and the beliefs that are stemming from the subconscious programs that are being overactivated by, or overstimulated by, overutilized by, or over relied on by a highly sensitive nervous system. So I know that's a long chain of dots to connect, and it took me years to get to the place of understanding this. But if you have any sense of trust in me, I can guarantee you, I'll walk you through it one more time. Thoughts are the source of your suffering. The thoughts come from unhealed wounds or subconscious, below conscious awareness programs that come from trauma, conditioning, programming from the world or your life experiences that have caused your nervous system to become highly sensitive or overactive and respond in a way that shuts you down when you want to do something like silence your thoughts. So I hope that makes sense. If I have not explained it clearly, please let me know. I do offer discovery sessions below. If you're already saying, please let me understand this better, I'm happy to jump on a call and explain it to you. But the point is, you have to get to that point of asking yourself the question, am I done? Am I fed up? Have I suffered enough? Are you that animal that's been backed in the corner, that's lashing out and saying, no more, I will take no more. I must solve this problem now. Because really at this point, once you know better, you do better. And so you kind of have two choices. Do you want to be the person that continues to suffer? Have you had enough? Are you ready to move forward with your life? Do you like being the hidden seeker? Do you like being stuck in hermit mode and isolation under the guise of perpetual healing? Do you like creating the post and planning to put it out, planning to shine your light, but never actually posting it? Do you like that feeling of knowing that you're supposed to be doing something greater with your life? Have you had enough of that yearning and that pull towards your purpose? Have you had enough of the soul-sucking job that you know you are not meant for, and you know you are called to service and to shine your light and to be a beautiful beacon for those who are struggling? Are you tired of ingesting more and more and more ancient wisdom, having all of the knowledge to solve the problem, but not sharing it with others or fully implementing it in your own life? Have you had enough? Have you come to that point where you said, I'm done? Are you ready to step into your purpose? Who are you going to choose to be? Because in this moment, now that you know better, you have that choice. Will you choose to do better? You know that you are beautiful. There's a part of you, your heart and soul, that knows you are perfectly imperfect for your purpose. There's a part of you that knows you have gifts. Are you ready to be the strong spiritual warrior you were made to be and break free from the prison and the chains of being stuck in isolation and shrinking back, hiding your light? Because now is the time. This is your call. You have been offered the answers and the solutions to break free. Will you fight that trauma demon that says, you can't do that? This isn't for you. That won't work. Because remember, no amount of negativity is ever true. And everything in life is happening for you, not to you. You can heal so that you can be powerfully strong and feels confident. It's the unshakable confidence. It's this feeling of nothing can stop me. The feeling of that I am the only thing standing in my way. And I now fully understand what that means. And I know how to tap into the resources inside of me so that I can move through life in the leadership role that I was meant to be What that means is to just live by example, to walk the walk, to employ those spiritual techniques that you've learned and you know how to do, but you're not embodying. Your dreams and desires were put on your heart for a reason, and it is safe to trust the guidance of your desires, to quote Amanda Francis, to give credit where credit is due. You can do this. Your soul is calling. You are not alone. And it is not out of your budget. I promise you, I've got options at every single price point. There are no excuses other than the thoughts. So remember, your thoughts are the source of your suffering. It is possible and very easy. The solution to resolve this is very simple and very easy. It is only reliant on your ability to make a choice here and now. Who do you want to be? I'm sending you my love, friends. Namaste.